All right. Hi, and welcome to our April 14th Google Hangout on Gale in the Google Classroom. We are welcoming special guest Robin Heston today.
Oh.
She's waving hi.
Hello.
If you haven't signed in, please do so. I will post the link in the chat. We would really appreciate it.
You want me to present my stuff, or are you showing stuff still?
I got like 2 slides left. So if you...
I don't see slides. So
gotcha.
That's probably why.
Did I not hit present?
I don't know, but all I see is me.
No, I'm presenting.
Okay.
All right. So if you have not muted your microphone, please mute your microphone. If you have a question, we will ask for those, and then you can unmute. And utilize the chat feature when you have a question. Holly Ann and I will be monitoring the chat while Robin is presenting. And with that, I am going to turn it over to Robin.
Okay, hang on.
All right.
So just mouse to the bottom, Robin, and that white bar should come up, and you can click present now.
Okay, so, present now. And then if I do my entire screen, is that what I'm doing?
We should be able to see it. Yeah, we'll let you know what we see. Try it.
A window. I got it. I know what I'm doing. Okay, hang on. This is the one. All right, can you see the portal?
There we go.
Okay.
Robin Heston is presenting. There you are.
All right. So, today, and forgive me, the only thing I can see is my screen. So, I can't see anyone's face, but I did before look at the chat at least and saw some very, very familiar faces. And I just want to say happy, healthy, and be well, wash your hands, all that good stuff. But today, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about Google and Google Classroom and utilizing Gale. And for those of you that are on, you might want to mute yourselves because we're going to get background noise. My coworkers are dogs, and they might talk to your dog. So, FYI. So, today, since we have a vast majority, a mix, I'm going to have to just pick and choose. And I'm going to show you one particular product. The reasoning behind this is because all of our Gale products are consistent across the board in terms of tools. So if I go into, I don't know, Suncoast, I am going to get every one of her products to choose from. Can you see the portal?
We can see the Suncoast page, Robin.
Okay, that's what I want.
The product page.
Yep. So today I want to make sure that you're aware that pretty much every single one of these products, for the most part, including these Gale in Context, which is what I'm going to go over, is you can utilize these with Google Classroom and Google Docs as well, right from this particular page. So keep in mind, if you're a middle school, you'll be going to Gale in Context Middle School. If you are in elementary school, you're going to go into Kids Info Bits. But just for the sake of this, again, I am going to choose this particular resource to show off since we only have a short amount of time. Within every single in context, and just to keep this in mind, the elementary Kids Info Bits is going to have a name change. It is going to be called Gale in Context Elementary School. And it's going to have very similar looks to this, but with appropriate content. So keep that in mind. For end of May, it is going to change dramatically in terms of Kids Info Bits. Keep that in mind. We might have a training on that alone later. Okay, so when you're in Gale in Context, and this is just a reminder for those, you can browse your topics. The reasoning I show this is because many of your teachers might be doing different things at different times, but keeping in mind that these are all unlimited access. So, and simultaneous access. So if they are looking for information on the 1920s, I can choose 1920s and it will give me the background and put 1920s into context, thus the name. So if I wanted to read more and just get that information, I just select that button. On the upper right side, you will always see the sticky toolbar. So wherever I am within this product, or this article rather, I will always see my sticky toolbar. For the sake of this particular training, there's two different areas you want to concentrate on in terms of downloading to Google Documents or sending it to Google Documents. And that's the send to button, where I can take this particular article and send it immediately to my drive. What that does is this now has signed me in, and just give me a yay if you see where it says signed in to Robin. Do you see where? Okay, good. Just again, it's hard for me to not see people. So I'm signed in with Robin. So now it's not going to prompt me, but on yours it will, or the students it will. They're all on that same computer. They can sign in on top even before they start if they just so desired. So now this particular article is within Google Docs. So you can go in there and manipulate it as a teacher, as a media specialist, as an administrator. So keeping that in mind, on this particular article, there's critical thinking questions, right? There's maybe you want to highlight those for your students. And what you can do with that is you are able to highlight, make notes on this, read carefully, discussion on Friday. And forgive me, I have to scroll down a little bit so I can get there. So I made some notes on that, and now I press save. And I can continue doing that throughout this. Why is this important? Because it highlights what a teacher or a media specialist wants them to read at that particular time. Okay? So again, I'm just going to say good facts on business. 20s. Again, I have no idea what I'm referring to, but you'll get the picture. You press save. From here, again, you remember the sticky toolbar. So no matter where I am, I can always go to my highlights and notes. And these highlights, as you notice, can also be sent to the Google Drive the same exact way. So if I just send my notes, I can do that. And again, this could be used for research. This could be used for teachers clipping information for students. This can be used for you just concentrating on one particular part of an article, if that is something you would like to do. My suggestion on these would be the following. I'm just going to press my back button for a moment and get back to where I highlighted. Once, if I send this now with all the highlights, whether it's up on this arrow or on the Google Drive icon, I just sent this whole article with every single icon. I mean, I'm sorry, with every single highlight within. Does that make sense? Okay. So just to keep in mind, there is always that listen button. I just want to make sure you're aware of that. For those that have ELA students that need in a different, language, again, you have this information to be translated into all different languages. So if you have a student that's speaking, and again, I'm using Italian, you'll notice that this goes into Italian. You can complete the full translation, and you can actually listen to this in Italian. So
I don't think the sound comes through, Robin, but
no, it doesn't. Okay, but okay, so what you have to imagine here is he is speaking to me, but what you're doing, what he's doing is highlighting that word or those words in that particular language. For those that are doing read alouds or anything of that sort that want not necessarily a translation, but just want the English portion, you can, again, keep this in English, press the listen button, and it will read it to them in English. So again, keeping that in mind. I am going to do a search from the beginning. Look in the chat to see if anyone wants me to do a specific search on a particular subject. I'm going to pose that to somebody.
You can throw your suggestions in the chat. We're watching it.
All right, and if not, I'll just make one up, or Holly Ann, throw me one.
Amy Armbruster says internet neutrality.
What did she say?
Internet neutrality.
Internet neutrality?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. Oof, never heard that. Something new for me. So in this particular case, again, now, is this the right resource to go through? I don't know. So it looks like, oh, there's a debate about it. These are all the different buckets. So there's 10 reference types of material that are within this about, or that match internet neutrality. Magazines, same thing. Images, newspapers, video content, academic journals, and audio. So if I go into any one of these, okay, let's just say this is it looks like a New York Times blog, and it looks like a podcast. This gives you that information to go and listen to. So related topics, it looks like net neutrality is one that it's named for in here. And again, you can do that same search and you can see the different images in terms of protests, video content, audio content, etc. So this is the interesting thing. This is from the Hollywood Reporter. If I select a particular article, all right, again, you can add this to your Google Documents, or does everybody see the icon, or just give me a yay on top? Above those tools are going to be a classroom icon. And I have to share, I have to switch out of my Google account. I have several Google accounts, so forgive me on this. I didn't put my Google Classroom one on. But this will allow me to create an assignment. It will allow me to link directly to Classroom, post questions, and then it will allow you to go to that classroom. And again, forgive me, I can't push it because I'm not on the right one. But what you get here is this icon is going to be so important for you if you're doing Google Classrooms, whether it's from net neutrality and you want all of that information. So let's say that particular search that Amy was suggesting for net neutrality, she wants this all in her Google Classroom. She can just press this green Google Classroom icon, and that way she's going to be able to create her Google Classroom on this particular subject. And you can do this with any particular subject or any particular article. So if she just wants an image, and focus on the image for their Google Classroom, all she would do is press this button. And I promise next time I do this, I'll set it up with my other
Robin,
Google link. Yes.
Robin, let me just, and because they've been working in Google Classroom, I'll just give them an idea. What happens is, if you haven't tried it, when you click that button, you'll be allowed to choose which Google Classroom if you have multiples.
Yep.
After you choose the classroom, it'll ask you to select an action, make an assignment, a material, a topic, or whatever. And the box pops up. It looks exactly like the function right inside Google Classroom. And you just do the exact same steps. And it gives you a view button when you're finished if you want to view it in Google Classroom, and it kicks you over to there. But it'll all happen seamless as long as you're logged in the portal and logged into a Google app. You're in your mail or whatever. You log into your district, your palmbeachschools.org Google account, and it'll all match together.
Are you in Google Hangout? Are you able to touch my screen, Holly, or no?
No, we can't share.
Okay.
Nope. Not this way. You're presenting.
Yeah, I figured. I just thought I'd ask. Go ahead.
Robin, Amy threw up a question. She wants to know, will the entire results list post directly to the Google Classroom?
Yes. So, but you have to set it up that way. So again, whatever your, search is, let's say it's the Poet X. I'm just going to explore this topic. Regardless of the topic, don't forget, here's your topic. If there's a topic portal, net neutrality didn't have one, don't forget, because it wasn't a specific portal, but it had all these buckets of information. From this point where it has all those buckets, if you press your Google Classroom, it will link to this full page. So then you can choose or have a student, giving them the instructions, go into reference, go into bios. If you wanted to take it one step further and just have them view the reference, you would put this particular page and then press your Google Classroom. Does that make sense? Amy, answer in chat.
She's saying yes. I can see her shaking her
nodding,
head.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure. So, or then now think of it like narrowing down, right? We started with this large topic of the Poet X. Then we went directly into reference. You could set up a classroom this way, or take it one step further and say, oh, I just want the historical context on this. And this is what we're going to discuss in class. And this is how I'm going to set up my Google Classroom. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Because you're taking it down from this narrow down. I'm just going to get out of high school for a moment and just show you something very quickly. I'm going to go into middle school. I just want you to see that this is the same, but the content is different and appropriate. Does that make sense to my middle schoolers on there? So we can do the same thing where I'm browsing topics or I'm searching. You'll notice that these topics are different, or some of them might be overlapped. But if you go in here and say you're looking up the Federalist Papers, let's say it's a government or a civics course, and they're looking this information up, again, if you can narrow down into, let's say, all the reference documents. And again, pick your Google Classroom if you want them to see this full page, or go down to the Federalist Papers in terms of this particular document. And again, you can press your Google Classroom or send it to your drive. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
Okay, good. So keep in mind, but does everybody see the Suncoast page?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what's on.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure. I want you to keep in mind that these are going to look different than your elementary page, etc. But opposing viewpoints. science in context, global issues in context, Gale in context, high school, for example, the Gale literature are all access points that will have all of those tools. There is a new one for my 6th through 12th. Pollyann, can I go into interactive real quick?
You broke a little bit, Robin. What did you say?
Can I go into my interactive for a moment just to make sure that they're aware of those labs?
Oh, no, I think that's a good idea. You should show them the labs. But
Okay.
This is middle and high school only, right?
It is. It is.
Just so the elementary people know. But it is kind of a cool resource. So heads
Yeah,
up to high school and middle.
yeah. Now, elementary, you are welcome as teachers, or share this with your teachers if they want to show some of this. I don't have a problem with it. I just want you to see that we put this on as a trial. It's called Gale Science, Interactive Science. Why did I put this on here? One of the reasons is we have a COVID-19 support site, and they put this on there for use until this quarantine and this lovely unprecedented situation is over, or for a certain amount of time. But I wanted, since you all go through your particular Palm Beach portal page, I thought this would be very, very easy for you to use through that. What is it? These are all activities that are 3D, and they're based into 4 different areas: bio, chem, earth science, and human anatomy. There's a 5th that says 3D printing models. So if a student or a teacher has a 3D printer at home, they can utilize any of these files to create that particular model. But I wanted to show this to you because the activities within this resource are vast. So if they were doing something in a marine science and wanted to dissect a beluga whale or know the anatomy of that, they can go ahead and select that. If they're doing something in science in terms of blood flow, blood circulation, you can see here that they can choose those types of resources or topics. And in terms of, and I'm going to go to the cell membrane for a moment. What this does is when you select that particular content piece, it will load the activity within, and here's where the 3D works. I can left click on my Chrome and move all the pieces around, and right click, oops, I'm just not right clicking well. I can turn this all upside down. So when I get through my activities and it's showing me all this information, I can take it piece by piece and layer by layer. If you're like, well, I really don't want to do, cell membrane, and you're looking for frog, you can always pick up the frog anatomy. And this is really neat. These you're able to, again, take you through an activity. Of course, it's loading. But you'll notice it looks pretty amazing what you can do in terms of looking at the frog in all different ways. And it will take you through this activity and links you to information from science and context. This is going over skin. Again, I can pick and choose. This is all about the muscular system. I can look underneath and see what it's doing and take off pieces. That sounds like I'm hacking, but you know what I mean. If I keep going through each one, and again, as a teacher or a student, they can be interactive. You will notice down below that they can link to an activity. So if you're using a Google website and not Google Classroom, you can always use the Get Link button that you saw before in the sticky toolbar, or in this case, a link to this activity or a link to the slide. But if you wanted to share the activity, you can again push the Google button and it will take you to create that particular activity for Google Classroom. At the end of each activity and lesson, and I'm going very quickly on this, I want you to realize that there is a quiz. This is all for self-paced. This is not to give a grade to the teacher, but it is good information for a student to understand what they just went over. And this is just review. So if it says, you know, from what orifice does a frog urinate from blah, 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 I can pick and choose. Of course, I picked something right. If you didn't get it right, it would have shown red. You can see here that this is this quiz 2, and I'm going to open this all the way up so you can see how great it looks, is I can pick and choose and say, oh, this is the long. No, it's not. I think this is the long, and that's correct. And then it disappears off. So these have been added for you, and these are great activities for those in science classes currently.
Hey, Robin, we're getting a question about this, and
Yep.
people want to know if there's an Earth Day activity.
Yeah. Oh, an Earth Day?
Earth Day activity.
I have no idea. Well, there's the Earth. It's more of, it looks like the Earth volcanoes. So it's not like Earth Day, but you can adapt it, I would say. So this is all about Earth. Let's take a quick gander. I'm just going to use it, but it's not specific to Earth Day. But what I would do in this particular database, this might not be, you know, the best in terms of that, but you can see, you can look at the structure. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would look up information, and let's just say in high school, I'm going to select this one for a minute, Earth Day. You can do it this way in high school, or you might want to look in the science and context. So Earth Day, again, you can go in here. I just put Earth in, but if you do Earth Day, you can do that, but I would pick something with, you know, Earth's history or whatever you're, you know, looking for, whether it be about pollution, right? Different pollution that you're talking about Earth Day. Does that make sense?
Perfectly.
Okay. But the Gale Interactive, again, why I like to show browse activities is because on the left, it will really show you what's in this database. So if you did want to do something with earth science and just pick geology and astronomy, that's going to be on the left side to talk maybe about glaciers, the hydro, I can't even say the word, that cycle, different planets, etc. So you can use it for any assignment you like, including Earth Day.
We're getting a request to share some elementary stuff.
Okay. So if you go, oh, look, sorry, I got to go back. If I go back to the original portal page, this should link to, when you go into the Palm Beach portal, it should link direct to, you know, any one of these. So if I go to, I don't know, Calusa. I'm picking Calusa. I don't know why, but I'm picking Calusa. You will notice there are only a few icons within this page. One of the reasons this is if you give too much to these kids and something that is way out of reach for them in terms of content, they won't go back. So Kids Info Bits is what I would be using as an informative portal, just like you saw in the high school and science and the middle school ones. It does look a little different. So let's just say you were looking for, I don't know, sports. I had someone ask me the other day, she has a few students that really love sports and they always checked out sports books. I showed her how to do it through this. And again, she was like, oh, okay. So if I press football, just want to show you, there's your Google Classroom. And remember that sticky toolbar? That sticky toolbar will be within up here under the more. So you have an extra click here. So I wanted you to be aware of that. But history of football, they can get this information and you can either send them through Google Drive, right? So you'll see here the tools are a little different. This particular database will change later. All right. And it will look like the in context products. But Kids Info Bits is a database that you're able to pull in books, biographical information, pictures, magazines, and newspapers. Okay. Now, I know that's a very quick synopsis, and I'm more than happy to pull this together another time, but it works the same exact way. So if you want to give this particular content page with all pictures and magazines, again, you pick your Google Classroom and you'll be able to provide that information for them. I want you all to keep in mind, whatever level you are, high school, middle school, or elementary, you do have Gale ebooks. These ebooks are unlimited simultaneous use. So if you are having a read aloud, for example, maybe you want to read alphabet, or maybe you want to talk about math, whatever it might be, you can open up these books. And these books, again, can be searched within, or you can press the picture of the book and you will be able to double spread this, double page this, and you'll notice I can actually go through this particular book with my students. So as an unlimited access point, I just wanted you to be aware that, again, you can go into any one of these books and you will notice Home Sweet Home, Look Out, that's all about safety, etc. So keep that in mind. And again, there's a lot, bless you, there's a lot of different books within here that you can access, again, without checkouts or anything. Don't forget you have Cameron's collection. Cameron's collection, or Cameron's Camp, is a collection of SEL, social emotional learning, kind of health books for students, teachers, and counselors. They are going to be different in the elementary level, as you can see, versus, and I just want to go into someone else's. I'll go into, I don't know, Jupiter. If I go into Jupiter, you'll notice their Cameron's collection is going to be way different than the others. Does that make sense for everybody?
Yep.
So these books are great to, I mean, this alcohol problem might be good for everybody right now, just a second. But stress and anxiety right now is a huge factor with all of us. Keep in mind that you can either get this link, and this link you can select and it will go directly to this book, or again, using that Google Classroom icon, you can suggest this particular book for that. And I know I went over and I'm so sorry. But Does this all make sense to everybody? And I really want to hear, is it helpful to go over this specifically? And if you need me to go over it, you know, with teachers and such, I'm more than happy, but go ahead.
I just wanted everybody to see the answer to this. Jeannie Brandt asked if there was a portal tile separate for the ebooks, and there isn't. You go to the Gale research tile, and then you have 2 tabs on your homepage. You have products and you have ebooks.
Do you want me? I'm going to stop sharing so you can do it. Do you want me to do that so you can show them?
Oh, I think that, I don't know. We've gone over. It'll take me a while to pull it up, but there you do go through the one tile, and then just look. There's 2 tabs. The Camden collection has its own icon to highlight that collection of ebooks, and then there's another icon on the product page that says Gale ebooks, but it's all inside there. So it's one click from the portal, and then you're in the product, and then in the group of products, and then you pick from there. It's the permalinks that are really valuable, though, and if you kind of picked up on what Robin was showing you by clicking the link for the book, you can point a kid to an exact book by taking that permalink. You can even email it to them if you have to.
Exactly.
Or however you're communicating with them, you give them that permalink and they click right into the book. They have to have the portal open to get in, because otherwise it's going to ask them for a login. But
that's right.
If you put it in your Google Classroom and tell them to have Gale open in the background, it will work.
Yeah. So just to remind everybody about that, if you go, and this is wherever, ebooks, anything, in Kids Info Bits, it's called Bookmark right now. But within this particular resource or any of the in context, again, whatever you're, doing, there's a get link button. And this get link, whatever, if you're, let's say you want to share the whole Gale in context on your Google page or whatever page, whatever website you're using, you can copy this and then go into your email and send that out to everybody, and it will link directly to this page. And you can do that with anything. So if I'm in big business, again, in this particular article, and you don't have a classroom to share, but you want to share the link instead, you can share that link. Or you can also, besides sending it to Google Drive, you can email right from here as well. So if I want to send this to Holly Ann, and forgive me, Holly Ann, I don't even know if this is right. I always put a from in, because I want to make sure she knows it's from me and not some general person. You can see I can write and say, Holly, great info here, maybe use this within class next week, or again, whatever, and send that as a particular email. So those are just different ways to use that. I was trying to reiterate it for you, Holly Ann. And I will stop sharing because I
really Gale is the Gale products are really, as Lisa said when we started, they're our strongest, best equipped product to share through Google Classroom. It's very seamless and easy and very effective.
Yeah, I hope it was helpful.
I think so.
Okay, and if you can, if you want me, just contact me, robin.heston@cengage.com. Thank you, Chelsea, by the way. I'm glad you saw my presentation at FAME. I just read a couple of them. Oh, happy birthday. Thank you. I'm reading all my stuff here. I'm very excited. I just want to do one other thing. I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart. My kids are in Martin County. My boy has been on a virtual school for the past almost 2 years due to anxiety issues and a hospitalization issue. This poor kid has been through the ringer, but my daughter is going through this virtual education just like you all are dealing with. And from the bottom of my heart, I thank you for all you do, because seriously, I need these kids out of my house. and you do this every day. And please, everybody pray with me that this will be over soon and we all stay healthy and happy. And I really do thank you, and all kidding aside, on what you do on a daily basis, regardless, in school, out of school, virtually. So,
well, thank
Thanks,
you, Robin. Thank
You're
you
welcome.
so
We'll see you
much for
soon.
joining us and presenting today. Just to wrap up really quickly, we have a new hashtag when you are tweeting. Please use hashtag PBCSD Virtual School Library. We know it's a mouthful, but our curriculum people are following your tweets with that hashtag. If you are registered in e-learning, you can get 2 points for today's session. The follow-up is super simple. Select a Gale product, search out an article, assign it to students in a Google Classroom, take a screenshot of your Google Classroom with the assignment, permalink visible, and upload to e-learning. Couldn't be simpler.
do you tweet that out, or is that not tweeted?
The follow-up?
No, I'm just curious because I have an @Robin Heston. You can always tweet if you're tweeting, an example. I'd love to see those tweets. And just do @Robin Heston as an example of your using Gale with Google. Would love it. Maybe I'll send you something special. Just saying.
Caroline, I'll go back to the hashtag in a sec. If you have any questions, throw them up in chat. Next Tuesday, we will be having another Topical Tuesday with the Palm Beach County Public Library, and they're going to share their digital resources with us. So watch your calendar for invites. And here is the hashtag, PBCSD Virtual School Library. Please, please, please use our new hashtag. If there are questions, throw them up in chat. And I think we're good. Thank you so much, Robin.
I think she's tipped out, but